one of my listeners sent me an email about a company called CYBK. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, you can at Big Biz Radio. I think we have about 22,000 Twitter followers. Our stock picks were up 68% last year. Stock picks so far this year up 31%. So I got people, many of you, look at it, we've got listeners all over the country from New York to Florida to I think we're on KABA in Alaska, of course, 175 countries for Armed Forces Radio. And then the 40 million TV homes cumulatively that we're on. You guys, I get a lot of kinds of stock picks. I looked at this stock. It's a stock called Cyber Kiosk Solutions, Cyber Thingy. In fact, we have a website. There it is, cyberthingy.com. Click on the domestic operations there. I've got with us Oren Manelis in studio with us today, or actually on the phone with us today. Oren Manelis.
What is this?
You should see this. It is a self-service bill payment and financial product solution. Oren Manelis on the line. Oren, can you give us an overview? This looks like a big stomping ATM robot machine here. What does this thing do?
Well, it's not an ATM. It doesn't dispense any money, but it does all other financial transactions and payments that you need to do, as well as offer you services that you would want to buy at your local convenience store or supermarket, like gift cards or prepaid visas or coupons for that effect. But it doesn't dispense money. It just helps you do everything else you need to do if you don't have your computer, you don't feel safe doing transactions on the phone. This is a perfect solution. Well,
the other thing too is that as I'm looking at this thing, it's not just a matter of services. You've got literally, I'm going to say thousands of. How many services does this thing provide? You've got everything from being able to send money. You can load a gift card on this thing. You can actually, there's a GPS for stores on this thing. There's a bill payment service. There's a digital lottery. What's the number that you have in here as far as how many things somebody can do on this thing?
Well, the numbers are in the thousands and the tens of thousands, because just on our bill pay vendor list we have 35,000 customers. But if we break it down into categories, which is the way we like to do it, there's about 15 categories, each one holding about 1,000 and up to 35,000 possible vendors. So in total, we're probably looking at about 150,000 possible things you could do.
At the end of the day, Oren, I got to ask you, why hasn't anybody else thought of this thing? Western Union, obviously a company that we all know about, waned over the last 10 years because they're a one-trick pony. And obviously you guys figured out the solution to that. Is the reason is because you have to have so many vendor agreements to do something like this?
That's one of the things. One of the biggest obstacles that we had to cross is it's been 2 years in R&D, is basically combining and joining forces with so many different companies to make this all work under one umbrella. That was number one. Compliance is the second. Compliance is the biggest issue that we had to cross.
Talk to us about that. Talk to us about compliance with respect to because you're doing bill pay. Is that the idea?
Because you're doing bill pay, you are collecting information from people. You're collecting Social Securities. We're running people's information through OFAC to make sure they're allowed to send money internationally and domestic, because they're entering their account numbers and their personal information. We have to run security checks on every single transaction. But the way that we've developed it is that the kiosk actually connects your API to servers off-site. So nothing ever stays in the kiosk itself. There's no memory in the kiosk. You put your information in, and when you hit submit, it goes and connects to the other side. Whether you're paying a phone bill, we're connecting to the network. If you're paying an electrical bill, it's going to connect to the electric company. It's going to give us a connection and say, yes, This is accurate information. This is who the guy is. This is his account number. Take his money. So that's kind of the way it works.
Yeah, the interesting part of this thing is that I can see this potentially in every convenience store, every grocery store, every strip mall in the country. I mean, you could even have it in airports at that point.
That's the idea. The idea is basically to be where the masses are, in the malls, in the airports, in the hospitals, in the universities. Obviously in convenience stores and supermarkets who are begging for us to put this in there because it covers so many different aspects of what they currently sell. But if you go to the supermarket or convenience store now, it will take you a half an hour to complete 7 or 8 separate transactions.
Yeah, and then you get those old talk with the teller. My grandson's coming out in July.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you can talk to
Moving on, lady.
Hey, by the way, the name of the website is cyber-thingy.com. Their stock symbol CYBK. How many locations you guys upgrading to for the summer?
Wow.
We're upgrading this summer 2,500 locations.
Wow. 2,500 locations. How I could see, and then by the end of the year, you have any? Can you even talk about? I mean, how many projections? How many?
Well, I can tell you what we contractually have in agreements. We have agreements to upgrade 20,000 locations in the U.S. It will take some time to get there, and every single location demands something different. One location, for example, one chain store wants only tablets in front of their registers and not freestanding kiosks, because they still want that interaction with the client. Mm-hmm. Some locations want a freestanding kiosk, and they don't want anybody in front of their line. They want the customer away from the register, just doing what they need to do.
Well, you go into a store here, you can print out a coupon for that store right there at your machine.
That's right. Yeah. Cyber-thingy.com. Oren, stay right there. I'm going to take you over the break. Also, we've got a giveaway.
What?
I just got an email from Oren saying that we're going to give away some stuff to our military audience on Armed Forces Radio Network. Big Biz Show. BigBizShow.com. Follow us on Twitter, Big Biz Radio. We're back after the break. Let's get back to Oren Manelis. Oren Manelis, by the way, I've got to tell you, Oren, this company, Cyber Kiosk Solutions, or stock symbol CYBK, and Oren is the chief operating officer. I every time I look at this thing, and again, I got referred this by one of the listeners and a viewer. I can't believe that no one's come up with this before. And in doing research, you guys have a proprietary advantage. I don't know, and I'm sure you know about it. But no one has this many services in one place. Is there any upside in the business model for let's say like a vendor? In other words, let's say you have an airport, let's say you have a municipality, and you're placing these kiosks in there. Is there any upside for them, or is it a convenience for them just to have it, or they get a piece of the action also?
Well, the stores merchants do get an upside. They get a piece of the revenue. There's a residual revenue scale for every store, depending on if we're giving them the machine for free and they're just running the services, or they're actually purchasing the machine. They make a little more. It all depends on how they want to work the system, but it is a revenue model for both sides. So a store will make money no matter what.
But from where I'm sitting though, it would make a ton of sense to even just have the machine in there just to drive traffic inside of a store or anywhere else, right?
Correct. It's got a lot of local benefits to it. It's going to have obviously a big coupon environment. It's going to have a lot of local specials that people don't see. So a lot of stores are calling us right now saying we'd like to have this, and what are the benefits for us? We're saying, well, there's a residual revenue you're going to make, and plus you're going to be able to show things off that you weren't able to show before. Most gas stations and convenience stores don't show you local specials because they want you to spend money in their establishments only.
Right. When I see these kiosks too, I'm always thinking, when can I come back and throw a chain around it and drag it through the front door with my pickup truck? But no one. There's no benefit to taking this kiosk. There's no money in there, is there?
Yeah, that's the business I want to be in. Let's put a kiosk up that just takes money in. That's a good thing. Cyber Kiosk Solutions is the name of the company. Cyber-thingy.com is the website. Of course, great. CYBK is their stock symbol. Oren, before I let you out of here, we broadcast in 175 countries and all the ships at sea with Armed Forces Radio Network, now called American Forces Network. And God bless the military men and women serving our country overseas and underway. You've got something that you want to hand out to some of our listeners in the Armed Forces.
Definitely to the family of the servicemen that are helping this great country. We'd like to give away airtime, which we're going to allow you to go ahead and give it away any way you want, but we'll give away 10 hours of international airtime.
Wow.
And you could break that up any way you want. You could do 10 families, 1 hour.
I'm going to do 1 minute at a time for every listener. So we'll do, and we'll do that over the next 3 months or so, and we'll somehow figure out a contest way to hand it out, or maybe just for some of you folks. And I get email from Afghanistan, I get email from Lebanon, I get email from all over the country, from folks and their families that listen to the program over on American Forces Network, and I got a lot of email already on your guys' company, so I'll forward you some of those, Oren. But we'll do that. Thank you so much for that. It's Cyber Kiosk Solutions. CYBK is a stock symbol, and they're giving away phone. It's in the form of phone cards, I'm assuming, right?
Correct. It's actually in the form of electronic cards. So you'll tell us the email, we'll forward the emails forward. They activate the number on their phone, and they're good to go.
Beautiful stuff. Thanks, Oren. Can't wait to see you in studio. I'd like to have this guy come into San Diego. That's not too hard of a sell either.
That'd be good. I'd like to see one that you can use underwater.
An underwater kiosk.
I don't know. Just for some. I don't know. Just right down. You're diving, all of a sudden. Oh crap! I need to pay my gas and electric bill.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Huh? Something to do underwater. That's all I'm saying. It's always more fun.